What is going on, guys? Train back today with another video for you, talking about underrated archetypes, or an archetype that I think is gonna have some kind of impact. Excuse me. Um, in the TCG, I see players using it in their deck lists in the OCG, and they're splashable, but I feel like they can be used on their own, and not a lot of people agree with me. I see a lot of people, talking down on them. And that archetype I'm talking about today is the Mekk-Knights, or the Jack Knights, or whatever we're going to call them in the TCG here. With Extreme Force, sneak peek less than a week away, as well as the actual release coming less than 2 weeks. I just kind of wanted to put the spotlight on them and give my own personal opinion about these night cards that are absolutely gorgeous ever since. I touched on it a little bit in my Should You Buy Extreme Force video that I released a couple of weeks ago, couple of days ago, and I just kind of wanted to dedicate a whole video to them, since I didn't talk about them very much in that video. So starting off, I just want to go through each of the cards and give their effects, as well as just talking about them a little bit more in depth than I did in my Extreme Force video. So starting off, we're going to start with the lowest levels first, and then we're going to go all the way up to the highest levels, and then end with the Link Monster and the Field Spell. So our first card we're going to talk about is Jack Knight of the Azure Sky, which is a level 5 light psychic effect monster. Attack 2000, defense 2500. They've all got this summoning clause in their effect, so I'm just going to read that for this first card, and I'm going to ignore it for the rest of them. Effect reads, you can only special summon a card or cards with this card's name once per turn via the method written on the first effect with this card's name. You can only use the second effect with this card's name once per turn. If two or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card from your hand to that column. That's the summoning clause for every one of them. And the second effect is, if this card is no more special summoned from the hand, you can add from your deck to your hand Jack Knight monsters with different names other than Jack Knight of the Azure Sky, equal to the number of your opponent's cards in this column. Basically, this is going to be your searcher, whether your opponent has one or two cards in that column that you special summon this monster to. You're going to get a +1 off of this, or actually, I feel like it would just pay for itself in card economy. It's not a +1 unless you added 2, and then it would be a +1. And even then, it's a 2000 beater or a 2500 defender without the field spell. That's not bad at all. Personally, this is going to be a 3 of in the deck for me. The decks that I've played on YGO Pro, I've always put 3 in this in it, and never really did any less. Though, with all the leaks coming out for Extreme Force, with the shit quality photos that people have been posting in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Europe Facebook page, and people in Mexico claiming they opened their sneak peek packs early, people were talking about this card being a secret rare in the Extreme Force set, which is amazing because I love these cards. I love all of the Jack Knights, or the Mekk-Knights, whatever they're going to call them. But as a secret, it's just going to be hard to get 3 ofs in box openings for this. So we'll see if that secret rare is true. The next card I want to talk about is Jack Knight of the Verdant Gale, which is the green Jack Knight Mekk-Knight. It's a level 6 light psychic effect monster. They're all light psychic, so I'm just gonna stop saying that. Attack 2100, defense 1600 with the column-based summoning clause. The effect for this one is when an attack is declared involving both this card and an opponent's monster in this card's column, you can target one Jack-Knight monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's... What is that card that lets you... There's a type of monster reborn, I believe, that lets you target monsters in your graveyard and add them back to the deck. I don't know. I'm not going to waste my time looking it up for you guys. Fuck. It's not bad, but it's also not good. With 2100 being also a level 6, those stats aren't impressive to me. And I just run 1 to 2 of it. I've been experimenting with builds still. Mainly for the fact that a level 6 with 2100 and it's a searcher, it's alright. I like having the Jack-Knights in my graveyard though for other Jack-Knights effects that allow you to do other things from the graveyard. And I will cover that in my next couple of Jack-Knights, Mekk-Knights. So level 6, green, verdant, gale, whatever they're going to call it for us in the TCG. It's okay. Next one I want to talk about is Jack-Knight of the Amber Shade, which is one of my favorites actually. It's a level 6, attack 800, defense 300 or 3000. So it's going to be the defender, and I actually like this card because its effect reads as follows: if an opponent's card in this card's column leaves the field or is destroyed by battle, you can special summon one Jack-Knight monster from your hand. So I see with getting the green one and this one on the field at the same time, because the green one declares an attack, take one of your Jack-Knights from your graveyard, add it to your hand, and I don't know. I still don't like the green one. I just like this one because it's got 3000 defense. With the field spell, it'll be 3300. And that's a big butt to get over. So I always play this one as 2. I don't think it would be good as a 3 though. Next one is Jack-Knight of the Golden Blossom, level 7, attack 2200, defense 2800. So another defender, which is nice. Effect is you can banish one Jack-Knight monster from a graveyard, target one spell or trap in this card's column and destroy it. So it's back row removal, which is nice. Also has the 2800 defense, which is not as big as Amber Shade, but it's still very nice. And as long as you have it in defense mode, I still think it's nice. Another level 7, which is one of my favorites of the Jack-Knight cards, is Jack-Knight of the Crimson Lotus, which is your red one. Attack with 2300 and defense 2600. The levels in the attack and defense on these just confuses me with what they were thinking, because you don't really ever see anything level 6 below, I want to say 22 to 2300. You never see anything level 7 below 2500. But again, with the field spell, all these would change. So I kind of see what they were doing. Playing this deck and making it mandatory to have the field spell is kind of nice, but I don't know. Anyway, back to, I'm going to stop ranting. Jack-Knight of the Crimson Lotus effect reads, you can banish one Jack-Knight monster from your graveyard, target one face-up monster this card's column, destroy that monster. This is a Very, very useful. I've won a lot of duels on YGO Pro because of this card's effect. Other than the fact that it's targeting, and a lot of cards nowadays are turning into anti-targeting effects. That sucks, but you also have your monsters that you can still destroy that will be problematic, and it's just an easy out. Um, Running it at 2 to 3, still experimenting, like I said, but you had your back row removal with the Golden Blossom, and you have your monster removal with the Crimson Lotus. Always nice. Next one is going to be Jack Knight of the Cobalt Depths, which is personally one of my other favorites. It's a level 8, attack 2400, defense 2400, and effect reads, once per turn, quick effect, you can target one Jack Knight monster you control, move that target to one of your unused main monster zones. This is, it's very helpful. You can either special summon it, move it, and special summon another, or you can special summon it and sit on it for a turn, special summon another Jack Knight the next turn, and whatever back row removal you need, monster removal, just move the special summon monster the Jack Knight that you just summoned to the column that you want to get rid of the monster, the back row, or anything like that. And this card allows you just to move it wherever. Plus, you've also got the world. I want to say those are the World Legacy cards that are coming out with support for this, which is nice. And we'll talk about those as well. But basically, if you have any Jack Knight in the column and that World Legacy card is in that same, or is activated, any effect or spell card, whatever one they choose for that World Legacy card, negate that effect because of the Jack Knight. So basically, there's an effect activating in another column that you don't have a Jack Knight monster in. Move your Jack Knight via Cobalt Depths effect and move it to the column where that card is activating. Negate it. Done deal. You just saved yourself. Very stun reliant deck, I will say on that. But with the help of Cobalt Depths, I feel it's going to be pretty amazing. And the last effect monster I want to talk about is Jack Knight of the Lavender Dusk, which is my favorite artwork of all of them. He just looks like, I don't want to say the king or the leader, but he looks like the general of the Jack Knights, or I don't know, the highest in command. I don't know military very well. Level 8 attack is 2500, defense is 2000. So the most powerful Jack Knight, other than the Link monster, and even without the field spells help. Effect reading is quick effect. You can target one Jack Knight monster you control, banish that monster until your next standby phase, then add from your deck to your hand one Jack Knight monster other than this card's name. This card's nice because you can banish itself, or it can banish itself, I should say. And it can be used as a searcher. It can also be used as a saver. Basically, your opponent has a higher attack monster than one of your Jack Knights, but not this one. Banish that one, because this can be activated, obviously, quick effect during your opponent's turn at any phase. You can chain it to anything, just about. And excuse me. Basically, you'll save that Jack Knight from being destroyed, and they'll have to target this Jack Knight. And if they can't destroy it by battle, they'll have to call off their attack. It's nice. And if they don't try to destroy anything, you can chain it to your opponent's end phase, banish it, get a Jack Knight to your hand, standby phase comes back to your hand, or comes back to your field, anywhere you want to put it. It doesn't have to be in the same column that you put it in. And then if you want to, you can just do it all over again, which is also nice. So you could get the other searcher, you could get Cobalt Depths and help move around your field. You could get the Crimson Lotus, so you can destroy your opponent's monster. Um, it's a fantastic search card, and I love it. It's gorgeous. The artwork's gorgeous. Whoever did the artwork on these cards, I commend them, just because they are so goddamn beautiful. Now we're going to talk about the Link monster. Excuse me, let me find it. So we have Jack-Knight of the World Scars. I don't know if that name's going to stick or not in the TCG. I just want to know what they're going to call all of these cards in the TCG, because it's hard talking about cards without knowing what they're actually going to be called. But the Link monster is a Link rating 3, attack 3000. Link arrows pointing to the bottom left, bottom center, and bottom right. The Link materials is 2+ Jack-Knight monsters. So 2 Jack-Knight monsters and something else, if you're splashing them in something. Or you can use all 3 Jack-Knight monsters. Or you can use 2 Jack-Knights and a token, whatever you want to do. Excuse me. Effect reading. You can only use the 3rd effect with this card's name once per turn. First effect is, while there are no cards in this column, it can attack directly, which is awesome. Effect number 2, while this card is in the extra monster zone, is not pointing to any other monsters, it cannot be destroyed by card effects or targeted by your opponent's card effects, which is nice. So, being a 3000 beater, it's going to be hard to destroy it with any of your opponent's high attack power monsters, but that's changing soon. But even then, I still like the first effect, because you can move this card around with Cobalt Depths effect, and you can put this in any column, whether it's the extra monster zone or it's just another normal monster zone. What do they call those? Fucking main monster zone? Fuck, I think. You can put this in any column as long as there's no cards in that column. You can attack for 3000 or 3300 if you have the field spell. And sometimes that's game ending or game changing, game pushing. Say your opponent has like a Solemn down and they didn't activate it for some stupid reason on your Jack Knight, because maybe they think you're going to keep going into excuse me, more Link plays, where you stop right here and you move it around, attack directly. They can't activate any of their Solemns anymore, because their life points are low enough. I forgot to say that at the beginning of that situation. That's a dumb situation anyway. I don't even know why the fuck I said that. Sometimes I just want to kill myself. God damn it. And then the 3rd effect, which is the one that says you can only use this once per turn, is you can send 1 card you control in this card's column to the graveyard, special summon 1 Jack Knight card from your deck, face up defense position, which is nice, but once you don't want to have cards in this card's column, unless you just set it to special summon and then put it in a different location than this column, which is nice because you can special summon any of your Jack Knights. So you can special summon your Purple Dusk to search off another one and get that Purple Dusk back. You can get the Cobalt Depths to start moving around your Jack Knight monsters. You can get any of them, which is nice. I just like it because the artwork on this is insane. I'm a big colors person, so the more colors the better. You just see all of the Jack Knight cards in there, or all of the Jack Knight colors. I'm starting to ramble on again, and this video is becoming super fucking long. I'm sorry, guys. So we're just gonna talk about the field spell and the 2 War Legacy cards, and we're just gonna fucking end it. But anyway, field spell card. Scars left by the World Legacy. First effect is Jack Knight monsters on the field gain 3 attack and defense points. 300 attack and defense points. And another effect is once per turn you can discard 1 Jack Knight monster or the World Legacy card, draw 1 card. I haven't done much research into the lore, but I know World Legacy is playing into the Jack Knight archetype, as well as being splashable as support, as draw support or defensive support, which is nice. The third effect of this card, though, I don't understand, because this is very situational, and this is barely gonna fucking happen. But it's super OP, so I kind of understand why it'll never happen. Third effect is you can banish 8 Jack Knight monsters with different names that are in your graveyard or face up on your field. Send all cards from your opponent's hand and extra deck to the graveyard. It would be great if you could get all 8 first turn, but that'll never fucking happen. Especially if you're going against a extra deck reliant opponent. You shut down their extra deck and their starting hand. It's game over. That's a win condition. But you do this late game, you're already gonna have them throwing their extra deck up on the field, and whatever they have is left in their extra deck really isn't gonna fucking matter. So OP as hell, but it'll never happen. We're going to talk about a World Legacy support card. This is a spell card, key to the World Legacy. It's a continuous spell card. When this card is activated, you target one of your banished Jack Knight monsters or World Legacy cards. If you did, add it to the hand. So any of your banished from the graveyard effects that you use, like Crimson Lotus, to destroy a monster, you can get that one back to your hand. And the second effect, when the activated effect from a trap card your opponent controls resolves while you control a Jack Knight monster in that trap card's column, you can negate that effect. Like I said, you can stun your opponent, which is nice. Going on to the trap cards, we have Whispers of the World Legacy. It's a continuous trap card. First effect is when this card is activated, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster on the field, and if you do, it gains 1000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. Help you push for destroying your opponent's monsters if you have a high attack Jack Knight monster on your grave. It doesn't even have to be a Jack Knight. As long as it's level 5 or higher, it gains 1000 attack, which is nice. And the second effect is when an activated effect from a spell card your opponent controls resolves while you control a Jack Knight monster in that spell card's column, negate that effect. Some more stun, which is nice. And then you have your last support card, which is True Depth Sleeping Inside the World Legacy. It's a continuous trap card. First effect is when this card is activated, target 1 level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard, and if you do, special summon it. And when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Basically Call of the Haunted and Monster Reborn, but more Call of the Haunted. Has to be level 5 or higher as well. Can't be any of your monsters, but all of your World Legacy cards and all of your Jack Knight cards are all level 5 or higher, so you have no worries there. And second effect is when an activated effect from a monster your opponent controls resolves while you control a Jack Knight monster in that column, negate that effect. So basically, this one is your monster effect. Whisper of the World Legacy is your spell card negation, and what was it? Key to the World Legacy is your trap card negation. So like I said, it's going to be it's a very stunny style deck, but it's a column-based stun. So people are calling it the next Magic Bullets. People are calling it The weather painters, people are giving it. I gave it so much hype when it first came out, and then once I started talking to people about it, they were just saying, it's just gonna be trash because it's a column-based deck and blah blah blah. But all of the testing I've done on YGO Pro, I've pretty much won 75% of my matches or more. And if you guys need replays for me to prove that, then I'll post some replays. But I'm excited for Jack-Knights in the TCG. I can't wait for them to come out. I'm going to the sneak peek, and the more Jack-Knights I pull, the happier I'll be. There are some other cards I want from this set, but Jack-Knights is mainly the chase cards that I'm going after in Extreme Force, and I really, really hope that they do something fun for the TCG competitively. I know I'm going to be building them and playing at my locals, and I'm going to be playing them until they get ran over by anybody at my locals. Because I like to play to win. I play for fun, but I also want to win. Being back in the game and getting my ass handed to me is never fun, so I finally found a deck that let me do that, and I want to keep that streak going. So yeah, Jack-Knights. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on for, what has it been? Almost 27 fucking minutes about 7 cards that are gonna be trash in people's mind from Extreme Force. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you liked it, and comment if you guys have anything to say, any questions, any ideas for me to do any other videos in the future. That's all for me. I'll see you guys next time.